Hello, second graders. I am going to get you started today with our Square One art project for this school year. And since you are at home, you have the option of participating in the fundraiser for Square One Art or just creating your artwork to submit for credit, but not actually returning it for the fundraiser. Of course, I would love for you to participate. You know that the Square One Art fundraiser is the one that we do where we send off our artwork and we get stickers back, and then we can order more things with our artwork on that. Um, if you remember last year, we made hearts if you were here last year. So I did send an announcement to parents with more information about that. And if you have any questions about that, you can contact me. Okay, so today we're just going to learn about what we'll be making and we're going to practice. Last week you guys learned a little bit about color, warm and cool colors. So we're going to do a quick review and then we're going to be learning about suns in art. So taking a look here at our simple color wheel, what can you find on the color wheel? Think about some of the color groups that we've discussed throughout your years at Poplin. What is the very first color group, the most important color group that we learned about? Hopefully you remembered the primary colors. Primary is beginning. It means the beginning of our colors, our color wheel. And that is because we need the primary colors in order to make other colors. We can't make those. We can't mix other colors to get red or yellow or blue. We just have to have them. Notice that they form a triangle on the color wheel, and they always will. They always should be arranged in this same pattern on the color wheel. So, what's the next group of colors that we would need? The ones that are in between each of the primary colors, those are the secondary colors. Notice that they're in between the colors that make them. So you should be able to figure out how to make green. If you don't have green, if you're sitting with just three primary colored crayons, red, yellow, and blue, and you need to make green, then looking at the color wheel, you can see that green is made by mixing blue and yellow, and you can tell because those are the colors beside green. Green is in between the colors that make green. Orange is in between the colors that make orange. So if we wanted to make orange, we would use yellow and red. If we wanted to make violet or purple, we would use red and blue. So that is how the color wheel is like an artist's tool. If you need to know about color, the color wheel is a good resource for you. And the color wheel can get a lot bigger with a lot more colors on it as you progress in art. So when you get a little bit older, we'll learn about the colors that come in between the primary and secondary colors. All right, so moving on to the color group that we learned about last week, that is the warm and cool colors. So you can look here on this color wheel and see that when you split your color wheel in between yellow and green and in between red and violet, you have the warm colors on one side and the cool colors on the other side. And it's really important to know the difference between the warm and cool colors because they help us to express emotion. Warm colors express high energy emotions like happy, excited, and even angry. Cool colors help us to express low energy emotions like calm and relaxed and even sad. So if you wanted to, for example, draw a portrait of a person who's feeling really happy and you draw and color it in mostly cool colors, you might not express the feeling that you are trying to express. So it's really good to know how to use the warm and cool colors. Also, when you paint or color something with a warm color, it's going to stand out more than the cool colors. So that also helps to know that when you're making art. And for us, when we make our sun, we will be using warm colors with cool colors in the background so that our sun will really pop out. And over here you can see a whole lot of expressive faces. And I wanted you guys just to take a minute and look at those faces and think about what colors you think might go with those faces. How you would color them in if you wanted to express their feeling with a color. So you might look at, for example, anger and think, what pops into my head would be red. When people are angry, a lot of times they even their face actually can turn red. And they have so much energy and maybe just want to jump around and bang on something. So that's the color that would kind of pop into my head for that. Looking at a expression like sad, you might think of blue, because we say that you're feeling blue sometimes when you're sad. The one that's happy or amused makes me think of yellow. Yellow feels like a happy kind of color. So I just want you to think about that for yourself and which colors would kind of go along with those expressions. Okay, now we're going to talk about what our goal or our objective is. We're going to be making an expressive sun inspired by the suns of Mexico. So I'm going to read through this for you. Because of the sun's huge influence on Earth, many early cultures worshipped the sun as a god. The sun was used to count days and time. The oldest known sundial, which is a clock that uses the sun's shadow to tell time, is from Egypt. And the early Aztec civilization in Mexico worshipped a sun god. So we're going to be looking at some suns from Mexico. And I wanted you guys to get a chance to look at the Aztec Sunstone, which is here in this picture, because it is the most famous surviving piece of Aztec art. It is used to count the solar calendar dedicated to the sun god. It is so big, it's 12 feet across, it's 3 feet thick, and it weighs 24 tons. And if you look in the middle, you might notice, what do you see? There's a face in the middle of that sun. And then what else do you notice that reminds you of a sun? Maybe the sun rays that are around the edges, those little triangles and points. And then you also can see some different symbols lining the edges of each of those circles and in between. And those symbols represent their solar calendar. So if you think about a long time ago, before people knew that our Earth revolves around the sun, and before we knew so much about the solar system and science, people would see the sun in the sky and they just knew that it was this really powerful, majestic thing. And they knew that they could use it to help them count time, and that it helped things grow and brought energy and warmth to where they were living. And so it just became like this magical thing to them. And so they did make a lot of art about it. And the interesting thing is that even today we still draw the sun a lot of times with these little triangular sun rays. And you still see similar art with faces in the sun. So these are some suns from Metepec, Mexico. They are made and displayed as symbols of luck and prosperity. They are often decorated with flowers and other brightly colored designs. So if you look at these, you'll notice that the sun rays are all different. Some of them are a little bit wavy, some are kind of pointed, some have decorations or patterns in them, some have lines drawn in them. Looking at the faces, they're kind of similar, but each is unique as well. Most of them are just kind of smiling. They have sort of happy looking faces, lots of bright color. So this is a type of Mexican art, and we are going to take this, what we know and are learning now, and we are going to create our own sort of modern type of sun using emoji faces. So I wrote our objective there at the top, and it says, create an expressive sun inspired by the art of Mexico. We will be putting a modern spin on the Metepec sun by including an emoji face. So for today, I want you guys to practice at least 4 examples of an emoji sun. Try different types of sun rays and facial expressions to decide what you like the best and what you want to do for your final design. Look at my example here. I did 4 different designs. Each one has a different type of sun ray that I drew. And I did 4 different facial expressions. If you look over at this one, I wasn't too sure about the winking eyes, so I did a different way up here to draw that. So just kind of play around with it. Remember that this is your opportunity to practice. So what you're drawing here does not have to be perfect. And then I colored in one that I think I liked the best. I really just picked one. But you guys pick the one that you like the best and color it in and send that to me through Canvas. Next week, I will post a video helping you to draw yours on your final paper. And remember, if you want to participate in the fundraiser, you need to go to school and pick up your Square One art paper. And I sent an announcement, and your teachers sent a message about that. So you should have that. If you have any questions, you can email me. All right, I hope you guys have fun with this. Bye-bye.